Periodically at the Solution Studios, we will be interviewing really important leaders in the Philadelphia area. And one of my good friends, Larry Dubinski, at the Franklin Institute, is here with me today. And we're going to talk about what he does here at the Franklin Institute and about the city of Philadelphia. Larry, thanks for joining us here today.
No, really excited. Thanks for having me.
Tell me, what are you doing here? When did you become CEO of the Franklin Institute? And tell us what the Franklin Institute is up to.
Great. So about 3 years ago, I took over as president and CEO of the Franklin Institute, and what a great job. I'm really a fortunate person to lead such a great organization that's almost 200 years old. I think people do know we're a physical museum space. We're the most visited museum in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, but we also do a myriad of education programs that really impact young and old alike around science, technology, engineering, and math.
That's really interesting because I went to the Franklin Institute as a kid, and everybody I know still comes to the Franklin Institute. What do you attribute the longevity to? People just being connected to this institution?
Yeah, I think two things. One, I think the ability to change with the times. I think the Institute has been guided both by staff leadership and volunteer leadership that have recognized that as things around us change, we need to change to be able to make sure we continue to be relevant. And I think the Institute has done that time and time again.
What are some of the important exhibits that the Franklin Institute has been involved with over the years?
Yeah, one of our latest exhibits, and one of the ones I'm really proud of, is our exhibit on the brain and neuroscience. It was an exhibit we opened in 2014. We did a lot of research of what did people want to learn about. And they want to learn about themselves. They want to learn how their brain works. And so we put together an exhibit with 70 different components, talking about a variety of aspects of the brain and neuroscience. And the exhibit actually won an award from the American Alliance of Museums as the best exhibition of the year.
What's in store next?
What's in store next is we're bringing an exhibition from China to Philadelphia on the terracotta warriors. People wonder, what are some of the greatest archaeological finds ever? And I must say, I think it's terracotta warriors. The emperor at that time put together 7,000 warriors and a whole host of other objects into his burial pit. And in 1976, people found this pit and have started to uncover it. And we will be bringing to Philadelphia some of the warriors, some of the weaponry, and showing about science and technology almost 3,000 years old.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. So when you think about leadership, we're going to just shift gears a little bit. Leading an organization like this, particularly a nonprofit organization, what have you learned about leadership? What have you learned in these years that you've been in the chief job? And maybe what advice would you give new leaders that are emerging in the community?
No, I think it's a great question. I think one of the things when someone leads a not-for-profit organization, they really have to remember that not-for-profit is a tax status, but it's not the way you approach leading a nonprofit organization. You have to remember that it is a business, and in order to be successful in your mission, you have to be successful on all those things that for-profit businesses are well. You have to make sure you're running an organization that is doing well financially, that is hiring and retaining the best talent that's out there, and then also continuing to produce great programs, exhibitions for us, and marketing those programs and exhibitions. And so to me, that challenge that I love is leading an organization that does all those things.
So what's your favorite part of the day as you go around working with your staff, doing your daily job? What's the best part about being in this fabulous facility here that has all kinds of interesting little nooks and crannies and places to go and things to see?
To me, in the end of the day, it's the energy on the floor. It's walking around the museum and seeing families, students, teachers interacting together, and our team working with those individuals to make sure they have a first-class visitor experience. There's nothing like seeing parents and children and students and teachers working together to solve problems and to learn. And you see that spark of curiosity as they look at something, or that wonderment, and they're being, yes, fun and entertained, but they're also being pushed to that next level to want to learn more. And to me, when you see those expressions, that's what it's all about.
Not only are children enjoying what's going on at the Franklin Institute today, it seems that young adults are re-engaging in the Institute in interesting ways, like Science After Hours. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. The Franklin Institute, one of the ways we continue to evolve is to make sure we can focus a lot on all audiences. And so over the last 3 years, we've really taken the turn to say, how can we engage a 21-plus-year-old crowd into the Franklin Institute? We launched a Science After Hours program that has just really flourished, averaging about 2,000 people a night when these activities happen. And what we do is we bring in some partners from throughout. We engage people on different topics in science learning. They're able to go to our exhibits. We bring in some music. But we also really have hands-on science that they can do. We have cash bars. And so what you have is 3 to 4 hours of really entertaining fun, but for an adult audience. The kids aren't here, adults can interact, it's a great date night, it's a great place for people to gather in a different environment. We've also extended that to our night skies and astronomy. So people can come here, they can go to the rooftop deck of the Franklin Institute, again, look at great stars, have a drink, and interact with their peers. So continuing to push.
That sounds amazing and right on point for these days and times. So we're going to talk a little bit about Philadelphia. You're a Philadelphian. What's your favorite day in Philadelphia? What would you do if a tourist came to you and said, besides going to the Franklin Institute, what would you do today?
Yeah, I think in some ways it depends on the age that comes in. But no matter what, I love Kelly Drive, the river, and the path there. So whether you like to run or ride your bike, just to go out along the river is just absolutely spectacular. And in Philadelphia, to me, it's about history, it's about culture, it's about sports. So there's nothing like going in Independence Hall and really looking where the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were drafted, debated, and ratified. To me, it's a pretty amazing spot right here in Philadelphia. If you love art, to be able to go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art and the Barnes, there are no better art museums around than there. And to me, again, on sports, whether you're a college sports fan or a professional sports fan, we've got them all here. And so you can't go a day without saying, hey, I'd love to go see this sport, and it's here in Philadelphia.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask them. Best cheesesteak place?
So, really interesting. When I bring people in, I go to South Philly,
Yes.
and I go to Geno's and Pat's, and I have them get one of each so that they can taste one of each and come up with their own determination. So,
the diplomat.
The diplomat, exactly. But there's just something about eating a cheesesteak in South Philly, looking at the ball fields, the people lined up, and eating their cheesesteak. It's pretty amazing, and it's very unique Philadelphia.
5 Guys or Shake Shack?
So I'm a 5 Guys person because I love the peanuts. So to me, I love the peanuts, and so I'm a 5 Guys type of person.
Well, thank you so much, Mary, for joining us on our first interview with a local leader in Philadelphia in the Solution Studios.